beauties? Beauty here, back with another video. So before we get started, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Before we get started, go and hit that subscribe button. Okay, you guys know, well, I'm sure some of you sing different things. I sing all day. Not the best singer, but you know, love to sing. But anywho's, welcome guys, and hello to my beauties. Beautiful people out there. That's right. So today is December 12th. I was gonna say Thursday, but it's not. Today's Wednesday, December 12th. And as you can see, I am going to give you guys a little story time. So, stay tuned. So, first things first. Today was a wonderful day, okay? Very good. And just to give you guys a little story time or whatever about me and, you know, my criminal record. And actually, I was inspired by Janae, so the Janae Experience, to tell my story or whatever. You're probably looking at me like, wow, you look like you've never been to jail or anything like that. So yes, I have been to jail. Actually been to jail a couple of times. The first few times that I went to jail was for my license. I think the first two times I went to jail was for my license being suspended. And this was, I would say, in 2009 or 10 maybe. Yeah, something like that. 9 maybe, or 10, not sure. But license was suspended. Kind of was driving, and I remember the police officer being behind me. And I was driving in Miami, and oh, excuse me. Put it under my tongue. I was driving in Miami, and a police officer jumped behind me, and I noticed in my rearview mirror, I know some of y'all do that too, like if a police officer is behind you sometimes, even if you know there's nothing wrong or you didn't do anything, some officers are just petty, they'll pull you over, because I've had that happen before. But this time, I knew my license was suspended, and he, you know, it's just, I was worried, and I knew that he was running my tag because I could look through the rear view mirror or whatever, and I could see like him going, like looking down into the computer and looking back up. We were at a red light. So I was like, in my head, like, man, I know this man is going to pull me over as soon as I press this gas. As soon as this light change, this man is going to pull me over and pretty much take me to jail, probably. But I had been pulled over before several times, knowing that my license was suspended, and it was just me. It's not, you know, I had the money to go get it fixed, but just being me and procrastinating, you know, during that time. I don't procrastinate no more, but procrastinating and just waiting to the last minute to do things or fix something. And I had been pulled over before, like several times, and always got off for it. They were like, okay, go get those license fixed. All you have is a few tickets. Go get them fixed. Go pay for them. Go do this. Take it to court if you don't feel like paying it or whatever. And I think I got so comfortable just allowing, you know, them allowing me to move on and go and leave without being arrested. So this time I had a straight up wake up call, because let me tell you, just as sure as I thought, when that light changed, man, when the light changed, he put his lights on immediately and did the little whoop 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 sound. So the way that the street was set up, I couldn't pull over because some of the streets in Miami, like, there's no middle part, like no median. There were no turning lanes for like a couple of blocks down. So he got on the intercom and he was like, just keep going. The next, he said the next turn that you're able to make a turn and pull over on the, so I was going to make a left. And then he was like, pull over, after you make the left, he said, pull over on the right hand side of the road. So we went down a little bit, and I'm like at the same time thinking, man, this man probably think that I'm not going to stop. But at the same time, I'm like, wow, he just told me to keep going. So I have nothing to worry about. So I finally caught up to got up to the part where I could make a left and pulled over. And when it was a black officer, and he had a very heavy accent. I think he was of Haitian descent or something. But when he got out of the car and came up to my car, and he was like, you know, your license are suspended. And I'm like, dang, how did he know that already? I didn't even give him my license or anything. So just because he ran the tag, I guess he said he could see my license, and I guess they could see your picture, know it's you or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm going to get it fixed or this and that. And he was like, yeah, he was like not trying to hear it. He was like, yeah, you know, I'm going to have to take you in. I'm going to have to take you to jail. And when immediately, like when I heard jail, like I was like, jail? And I immediately started crying. And then he was just like giving me that look like, man, I really don't want to take her, but I know I have to take her. Or, you know, it looked like he didn't want to take me, but he was being very persistent. Like he really, like he needed to take me, or maybe he was getting paid or some type of quota he had to meet for that day, because it was in the evening, like around 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. I'll never forget. And I was like, please don't take me to jail. I'll go get it fixed. I'll go get it fixed. And I'm crying. I was like, can I make a phone call? And he wasn't hearing it. He was ignoring me. So he was like, step out the car. You know, step out the car and put your hands on the hood and this and that. And I'm like, you don't really have to do all of that. Like, I'm not running nowhere. First of all, I can't even like run like that because I'm fat. So he was like, okay. So I got out the car and I just stood up, and you know, he looked through my purse I had. I don't know if he was supposed to look through my purse, but there was nothing in there. My cell phone was in there, maybe like my wallet and some money or whatever. So he you know, told me that I was going to jail, and I asked to make a phone call. He told me I couldn't. I can make a phone call when I get to the jail. He said, but if I take you to jail, you'll be out in like a few hours or the next morning. He said, like, you'll go before the magistrate judge, depending on when they have you go to court. So I was like, okay, man. So I'm still crying, not gonna lie. I was crying because, one, I was upset he wouldn't let me use my cell phone. He powered my cell phone off, and well, he told me to power it off. I powered it off, and another officer came, and I got in the back seat of that car, and we ended up going to the jailhouse. So yeah, got arrested. Walked into the jailhouse. That was my first time being in there, and it was just like, man. And the way they had it set up, there was like this big holding cell that you go to, and honestly, the ladies that work, the officers, the correction officers that work at the jail, they were very nice. They could see that I was very upset, and it was just something, you know, the lady, she was so nice to me. And she was like, don't worry, I'm going to let you use the phone. I'm going to let you call somebody. But I'm going to have to put you in a cell, like a holding cell. Let me tell you, that was like a holding cell from hell. That thing was so dirty. I kid you not. I was in that holding cell for at least 4 or 5 hours, just standing up. I would not sit down for nothing. There were like drunk people in there. There were women in there that were like half naked, like prostitutes and stuff. They were telling their stories about what happened. Me, I was just quiet, calm, collective, not bothering nobody. I talked to like a few people, like another girl who had got arrested for the same thing, driving with license suspended or whatever. And just being in there was just like disgusting. The floor, the ground, the tile was dug up. It had a very stink smell. It was just horrible. And like 5 hours passed, and I was given the chance to go ahead and use the telephone to call home. And I called at the time my ex-boyfriend, and he didn't answer. At this time, it had to be like around 11, 12 o'clock, 11 or 12 o'clock maybe. He didn't answer. So I didn't want to call my mother. I didn't call none of my family members or nothing. So I was like, you know what, I'm just ride this out because I'll be out. This man said, I'll be out the next morning. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So long story short, went back into the nasty, filthy cell. And the next morning we went to this magistrate court and went in, and the judge told me, he was like, just plead guilty and I'll let you go. Basically, he was like, plead guilty, not no contest or innocent. Plead guilty and you're out of here. And I'm like, plead guilty? Okay. He was like, you just paid the ticket or whatever. Got out. I pled guilty, of course. Anything to get up out of there. And I was released maybe like a few hours later, like I think like 2 or 3 hours later, because I had to wait for them to actually release me. And when I didn't notice, like I had like, now that I think about it, I had like maybe like $500 or $600 to my name. And they took the money, but they printed me a check. And it was drawn, the check was drawn on SunTrust Bank. I'll never forget. So I had to find the SunTrust Bank after I got out, powered my cell phone back on. It was like on low battery. And I made a call to my ex-boyfriend. And we, went and cashed the check or whatever, did that. And I had to go get my car because they towed my car. They towed my car and put it, they towed the car and put it into like it was a tow truck company or whatever that wasn't too far from the jail. So get over there. Now this was the twist. I get over there and come to find out, I didn't have my ID. The ID was actually in the car, in the glove compartment. So I get there and they're like, I need an ID for you to go in and get the car, just so I can make sure it's your car. So I'm like, what? I said, I think the ID, it's inside of the glove compartment. So I'm thinking it's in there. And he's like, okay, I'll give you a chance to go in, describe the car to me. I told him it was a silver Mazda, whatever. So I went in and looked inside of the glove compartment, and I'm searching. I can't find the ID. So I'm like, dang. But I did have another ID from a job that I previously had during that time, which was from American Express. They had my picture on it and everything. So I'm like, can I use this? So once he was like, I'm really not supposed to use this, but because I see the picture, your name, it matches, I'm gonna let you take it. So I'm like, how much? And he's like, well, it's only been sitting here a day. I think it was like $180 for me to get the car out. And I'm like, $180? So yeah, had to pay it. I mean, what's the use of sitting there going back and forth? And I know I'm gonna have to pay it. I just wanted to get away from there and just go home. So did that or whatever, and that's pretty much what happened. Like, that was my first time getting arrested. So I have more stories for you guys because that's not the only time, but that was like the first time getting arrested. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Love you.